Hey guys, so this week John wanted to know what it was like being gay in our neck of the woods. And just to give you a little background about Maryland, we are not quite in the north where all those liberal, tree-hugging yuppies are, or in the south where all those Bible-thumping, God-fearing conservatives are. We're kind of in the middle. Maryland kind of swings towards the more liberal side, but then there's certain, especially social issues, where they're kind of cherry pick what they will and won't tolerate, and one of those is the homosexual agenda. So, for instance, you can get as many abortions as you want, but for some reason you can't marry your partner of 10 years. So, to start off, I went to Catholic school for 9 years for the early part of my life, and basically at Catholic school they just pretend that, like, gay people and sex before marriage and other religions don't exist. So that part's kind of a wash. But then I went to high school, and that was a totally different experience, a complete culture shock. There was only one person that was out at my high school, and that was this guy who eventually became my friend. His name was Danny. And Danny was, along with being bisexual, he was also a Wiccan, and he enjoyed wearing black all the time. He wore shorts all year round. He refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance because they said the word God in it. He just did all sorts of things that were just sort of, you know, he marched to the beat of his own drum, and I love him all the more for it. But I do remember kids responding to him, and the only thing that they really reacted to was the fact that he was bisexual, and I just remember them saying, like, oh yeah, I overheard that he said he's trisexual, like, he'll try anything once, and they were just making fun of him about, like, oh, he would see a bird fly past the window and get turned on, or he'd, like, see the desk chair and, you know, have a boner. I don't know. It was just stupid stuff like that. So it didn't really, my high school itself was not very conducive to being out and gay. My only really negative experience firsthand was, I remember my freshman year, my first year of high school, I was sitting with this guy, Michael, who was sort of Aryan, blonde, blue-eyed, this kid Eric, who was this tiny little hobbit of a ginger, and he looked like he was about 8 years old. And then eventually those two became friends with this other kid whose name was Damon, who, I mean, that's coincidentally enough the name of the Antichrist in the movie The Omen, but I'm not trying to say that there's a comparison there, but he was kind of a big dick. So Damon, for whatever reason, when he came along, this was like during my second semester of high school, he started like picking on me for absolutely no reason. He was making fun of me all the time. It just got me so upset. I would go home to my mom every single day and complain about this kid. And then one day it finally came to a head when, for some reason, those three were like arm wrestling each other, and then they wanted me to get involved. And so they were like, so Damon singled me out and was like, you, Greg, arm wrestle Eric. And Eric, if you remember, is the tiny little munchkin. And I was like, no, that would be like arm wrestling a Cabbage Patch Kid. That's not fair for him. And then, you know, after they were arm wrestling, whoever lost, he was like making fun of them relentlessly. And so I just couldn't, I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. And so then Michael, the Aryan, you know, Hitler Youth, he was the one that said, oh, come on, stop being a, and then used the word, I'll just say, fago. And I was just very taken aback. I didn't know what to say. Nobody had ever called me that before. And then Damon actually came to my defense and he said, no, 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 man, he's not gay, he's not gay. And I was like, oh, well, you know, Damon for once shows that he has like a little bit of a soul and is actually being nice. But then he followed it up with saying, he's not gay, he's just a girl. And I just remember that it just upset me so much. I was so embarrassed. They were still insisting that I arm wrestle Eric, and that was not happening. And so I remember going home, crying to my mom. I was very upset about this, and she was like, well, if these people upset you so much, then why are you hanging out with them? And I was like, exactly. And so the next day, I went and sat with a bunch of strangers and never dealt with any of them again. And I eventually made some new friends who were perfectly willing and open, and I'm sure they would have been perfectly accepting of being gay if I had come out during high school, because all of them were pretty much making out with each other anyway. John last week we were talking about things we do too much or do too little or whatever. You said that you work too much, and I can feel you because my job gets in the way of all the things that I want to do, like traveling and, you know, drinking in the morning or sexually harassing people. You know, it ruins all my fun. Radian, you said that you want to spend more time with your friends, drink more, get out more, have sex more. Well, I think you should just get drunk and have sex with your friends. It's always worked for me. Caleb, your bedroom makes my bedroom look like a landfill. Oh, and I also have something to show you. Hey guys! It's like my beer goddess saying hello. Rob, it's been really fun getting to talk to you on Skype. You have a really funny sense of humor. I also think it's funny because you told me to stop talking about this, but then your video was late last week, so I can't help but think that that might have been because of the curse. Just saying. Anyway, happy hump day to everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!